In Unity, we have our scene layout. We also have a game panel. This is often initially docked behind. We have project, which shows all the files and assets and other packages that have been downloaded and installed. Console, which will print out error messages, and the inspector for when we've added objects onto the scene. So, as far as we go, in the assets, think of this more like folders. If you're making any changes to any work, always do it from inside Unity. So we often want to set up folders to store information, so such as a folder for scenes, another folder for materials, which is used for like textures. We might also create a folder for scripts, which is like our code, and we might create a folder for prefabs, which is our pre-made sort of objects. So we've got this default sample scene. Now everything we create is some form of game object, and game objects can have components attached to them. So often we'll have like an empty one and then put other things inside it. But we're just going to make a basic level out of a 3D plane, and we'll just say make that 3 by 2, and we'll put a few other objects onto this. So I'm just going to add a cube, drag that up, put another cube on there. I can say stretch it on some different dimensions, and let's make a sphere, and we'll put that one up the top. If we hit the play button, we sort of see nothing happens. If we want to apply physics to some of our shapes, click on the shape and go add component, and we want to add a rigid body, so we can search through all of these and we can see all of our properties here. So we might say make our mass 5. We can add a few other parameters. Let's change its position up to 7. What we'll do is we will stretch it on the X, and actually let's just stretch it on the X and Z axis. And you see it sort of looks a bit portally because we've got that Z as 0. So we've sort of now got an egg shape. So I'm holding the Alt key to pan around, and we can see now I can drag this out, and game object, we can use the rotate tool to spin this around, so we can quite quickly modify things. One thing to note is that it does have by default a sphere collider attached to it, which does limit its collisions. So colliders are used for hitting other objects. So that was added when we had a rigid body. So if we hit play now, it's now gone through and basically fallen with gravity. Let's take cube 1 and we'll just rotate it so it's on an angle. So hopefully our object is going to hit this at an angle and bounce off in some way. Okay, so we've got our basic sphere collider here. Very strange it's actually hitting that on these angles. So let's just try it at try modifying one of the other ones. Let's say move that to 25 degrees. And our object now hits it and falls off and sort of rotates. Because it's using the sphere collider, it doesn't fall in that sort of oval shape. Main reason being the oval shapes are quite complex for us. Okay, so that covers basically how to set up and add basic shapes into Unity.